And then the other hire that was made was Luke Fickell to Wisconsin. I'm going to speak from my personal perspective on Luke Fickell right now. So he was the defensive coordinator and linebacker coach when I was at Ohio State. So I sat in meeting rooms with him for countless hours for 4 whole years. Luke Fickell was a part of recruiting me to Ohio State. He was part of the reason that I stayed at Ohio State. My freshman year was miserable. The first conversation that I had with Urban Meyer, who didn't recruit me, I got recruited by Jim Tressel. First conversation I had with Urban Meyer after I got to campus was that he didn't think I was good enough to play at Ohio State, and he was going to make me make a decision on whether I wanted to be at Ohio State. He hates when I tell that story, but it's the truth. And if I didn't have Luke Fickell as a person that I could go to and he could spit it to me real, I don't think I would have survived within the Ohio State program. Fast forward to after I'm done, he had developed me from a skinny kid who was soft as hell from the suburbs into a guy who could make 100+ tackles in a year and was a 4th-round NFL draft pick. I am leaving the league in 2018, and he's one of the first people that reaches out to me. And he says, I don't know what your professional endeavors are. I don't know what you want to do in life. But if you want it, there is a spot here at Cincinnati. We'll create something for you, and we'll make sure that you can get started if you want to get into football. That's what Luke Fickell did for me. And I obviously didn't take the opportunity, but I'm fortunate that he put it out there because that was somewhere I could have gone to, and I could have been mentored by one of the people I respect most in life. I say this to say one thing. We know what his track record is as a football coach. We know what he did at Ohio State, multiple national championships as a coach. We know what he did at Cincinnati, first coach to take a group of 5 teams to the college football playoff. What you need to know about Luke Fickell as a man is he's a better person than he is a coach. And these Wisconsin kids who get to be around him are fortunate. And that is the reason why I think that he's going to build a program that can win. Also, for context, Wisconsin is the program that has the most wins in the CFP era without actually making it into the playoff. He's in a really good spot. Shocking that he picked Wisconsin over USC. That was an opportunity. Notre Dame was an opportunity. Yeah, West Virginia calling him back when I was playing. Oklahoma was interested in him, and he picks Wisconsin. This man is about to do some work over there.
Yeah. What? Well, I that's for anyone listening as well. That's what it's all about. I'm very fortunate JP had that throughout his career. You had that, bud. But I have a ton of respect for him, just the outside looking in, and that even grows more with that story. I think that the Wisconsin pick's an interesting one as well. I thought he was sitting out for an opportunity at Columbus. Like that was always my kind of take. Like he was going to sit there cozy as hell in Cincinnati. Like they were never going to kick him out the door. And I thought he was just going to sit and wait because it's going to come eventually. I think Ryan Day, and I'm not trying to push anything or make any hot takes here, but I think Ryan Day's ultimate goal is to get to the NFL at some point.
I agree with that.
And I also made this statement that if he did take the Wisconsin job after passing up all of those other jobs and then takes the Wisconsin job after, he must know something about Ohio State and the state of that program right now. Right. And kind of what's going through Day's mind, whether Day tipped the cap or not, or whatever it is. So I think he's going to do a damn good job up there. And I'm excited because he's going to have a big, tough ass physical fucking football team.
He is.
And I think that's right up his alley.
Yeah. So let me address what you said about this Ohio State situation, because that was one of the things that stood out to me. I mean, Luke Fickell has been extremely choosy. He was an assistant at Ohio State for like 15 seasons. He had multiple opportunities to leave and did not think they were the right opportunities. Part of that is because he's a father of 6 and he wants to do his best for his family, which I respect the hell out of. The other part of that is he also realizes that not every opportunity is a good opportunity. So he goes to Cincinnati, has a ton of success there. He's getting calls from everybody. I personally believe the Notre Dame thing was real. I think that Notre Dame wanted Luke Fickell first and foremost. 2 things happened. Luke Fickell said that he wasn't entertaining a job until after his team was done in the college football playoff, which I commend. The other thing was the Notre Dame players said that they wanted Marcus Freeman. They trusted him. They believed in him. And the administration listened to the will of the players, which I appreciate on the flip side. So I think there's 2 reasons why that never happened. Then I think Luke Fickell starts looking around, and Cincinnati did a lot of things to try to retain him. They were paying him like $5 million a year. He had an assistant pool that was $5.2 million. They were investing in a new indoor facility. They wanted to get the NIL program up and running. But he probably said, we're moving to the Big 12. The Big 12 is not printing money like the SEC or the Big 10. This new media rights deal that the Big 10 has, these are highly capitalized athletic departments. They are rolling in fucking cash and they got to spend it. And so Luke Fickell got the financial investment from Wisconsin to the tune of around $8 million a year on average. I'm sure his assistant pool is going to allow him to employ $1 million coordinators, which is really important in the game of college football right now. And they're going to work on probably some NIL things to try to keep that thing rolling because that's what everybody else has to do. I think that he looked at the situation around him and said that Cincinnati has been great to me, but I can have success at another place.
Well, it's time. I mean, it's time, right?
Right.
Like, I think he capped out, and I think this year, he did everything he could at Cincinnati.
Yes. And so here's the other part of it that becomes interesting to me. Who's to say he can't leave Wisconsin and go to Ohio State?
100%. I mean, he could up and say, I'm out like 2 years from now, a year from now.
He could.
Hell,
I mean,
in 2 months.
when people thought Michigan was going to be open, when Jim Harbaugh was sniffing around the NFL a year ago, who were two of the names that popped up in that conversation? PJ Fleck and Pat Fitzgerald, two coaches that are currently in the Big 10. So this would not be an unprecedented thing that a Big 10 school would target another Big 10 coach.
Right.
So I think Luke is aware of that opportunity as well. It's super intriguing to me. I'm excited for him. In Madison, Wisconsin is not a very far drive from Chicago. So I'm going to go see him multiple times this offseason and watch how he builds that program. But he's got some infrastructure in place. He's hiring his strength coach from Cincinnati, who is an Ohio State assistant who graduated from the Olentangy High School where I went. So I've known the cat for many years. One of the great developers of bodies and a great connector of men. Like this is again, they can do what I think Nebraska can do under Rule. They can be a team that every few years is going to be an at-large college football playoff team. I certainly believe that's possible.